guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Melissa, and today we're going to dive into the top 20 horror movies that you can watch for Halloween. So again, I'm just going to list here that I'm not going to give away major spoilers, just a short description so that I don't spoil the fun for you guys. So if you haven't already, please go check out my part 1. That one was only top 15 horror movies. This time we're doing a top 20. I'll put it in the links so you can definitely go check it out if you're interested. So let's dive in. So in first place today, no particular order, we have Lights Out. Now Lights Out is based on a short film by David F. Sandberg. For those of you who aren't familiar with his work, you can go check him out on YouTube. He goes by Pony Smasher here on YouTube, and his content is really creepy. These short films are so well done. I mean, Lights Out won a prize, and they actually decided to make it into a big film, so I'd say it was pretty successful. So the whole video kind of revolves around mental health, which I think is a really important thing. I myself try to focus on mental health a lot too. I made a couple of short films revolving around mental health because I think it's a really important topic to talk about, because a lot of people are struggling with a lot of types of mental health, and I think it's really important for us to talk about it. So the whole film basically revolves around this entity that's basically tormenting the mother with the mental problems, and then the whole family is experiencing some really weird hauntings, and the spirit, it cannot come into light, so it's only active when it's dark, which is the name Lights Out. Second on the list, we have Amityville. Now, there's so many Amityville movies that people made. I mean, Amityville was quite a really big haunting case, so I understand why people would, want to make a lot of films about it. But the two films I want to talk about is the 2006 film, which Ryan Reynolds starred in. That was a really, really great film about Amityville. It kind of gives you a little bit of the detail about this family who moved in after the actual haunting. They bought the house, they didn't know it was haunted, they ended up experiencing some dark things, and then the spirit kind of latched onto the family, and they had to deal with that. So definitely go check that film out if you're interested. And the other one is a relatively newer film. So the second film is called Amityville: The Awakening. It's the 2017 film starring Belle Thorne. I thought that was a really, really great film. It's also a family who moved into the house after the actual haunting, and it also touches a little bit on special needs and things like that, so I thought that was also really interesting to incorporate into an Amityville film. But the whole film kind of revolves around this girl who doesn't really fit in. Her twin brother was in an accident, and then they moved into the house and some really spooky things started to happen. Third on the list, we have The Boy. Now, there was two films of The Boy, and this film actually kind of creeped me out. It also revolves around a haunted doll. Although in the first film, it rather appeared to me that it was an actual person who was like behind the whole thing. But in the second film you get a little bit more context to what the doll actually is. So the film also stars Lauren Cohan. Some of you might be familiar with her. I personally know her from the series Supernatural. So definitely go check out The Boy if you're interested in like haunted, creepy doll type movies. Fourth on the list, we have The Curse of La Llorona. This film was created by the same people who created The Conjuring, and this film was really good. So for those of you who aren't familiar with La Llorona, it's basically the woman in white. Some people also call her the crying woman, but again, I remember the first episode of Supernatural where they talked about the woman in white, which is basically the curse of La Llorona. So the story goes that a woman drowned her children, and now she's kind of like haunted, and she just like roams the earth in search of her children, and now she's taking other children. So that's basically the curse of La Llorona, if you're not familiar with the actual curse. So this film basically just talks about the entire curse of La Llorona and how it affected a family, and it's a really interesting film. I remember distinctly the priest in this one is the same priest from Annabelle, from the movie, and he said something that stuck with me, and I really love this quote so much I want to share it in here. You do not need religion to have faith. I have been saying this quote to a lot of people because I personally don't have a religion anymore for reasons. If you're interested, go check out my other YouTube channel, which I'll link below. But I don't have a religion anymore. I basically renounced it. And I still have my faith, which confuses people a lot. So definitely go check out my other channel to find out more about what I'm trying to explain here. But if you're interested in watching this film, I really recommend it. Like I said, same creators that made The Conjuring, so it is a really good film. Fifth on the list, we have Polaroid. So this film is actually really cool. If you know what a Polaroid camera is, it's like you take a photo and the photo comes out of the bottom, which is really cool. So it's basically a haunted Polaroid camera, so it's really cool, really interesting. Definitely go check it out. I don't really want to say more than that because I don't want to give any major spoilers. Sixth on the list, we have The Forest. Okay, so the movie The Forest basically handles about the Okigahara Forest. I hope I pronounced that correctly. It's basically the suicide forest in Japan. And for those of you who aren't familiar with it, people basically just go there to end themselves. It's extremely haunted. You know, there's just like a lot of spirits and a lot of bad energy revolving around this forest. So the movie basically just gives you a little bit more detail about the forest. This girl's twin sister got lost and they went on a searching expedition for her, and some really creepy things started to happen. So if you're interested in haunted forests, definitely go check out this film. Seventh on the list, we have Evil Dead. So I had to put this on the list. This was a really, really gruesome horror movie. It's basically handles about like addictions, quitting addictions, and also the impact addictions can have on your life. And also it involves demonic possession and things of that nature. So if that interests you, definitely go check out the film. There's a lot of gore, a lot of blood and gore and things. If you're interested in that, this is the perfect film for you. Evil Dead was quite an intense horror movie, I must say. Eighth on the list, we have Malignant. This is a relatively new film, and I can actually not say too much about it. I mean, this film came out this year. Same people who created The Conjuring, and I must say, like, I can not really give you guys a description of this because I don't want to give away any spoilers at all. The first half of the film, you're like, what's going on? What's going on? Is this girl crazy? Does she have, like, you know, like some weird imagination? And later you find out what's actually going on, and you're like, oh dang, I didn't expect that. It's a really, really unexpected twist, like, near the end of the film. It's really, really great. I really recommend this film. It was really good, but I don't really want to say anything about it because it's really hard to explain this without giving away spoilers. Ninth on the list, we have Poltergeist. Now, the Poltergeist, there's older version of the movie, and then there's the newer version. So for those of you who don't actually know what a poltergeist is, it's basically a malevolent spirit that is invisible and like moves things around. It's usually a very vengeful type of spirit. So the movie basically handles over a poltergeist that's basically tormenting and haunting a family. Now, poltergeists are notorious for being very violent and very, very malicious. So yeah, if you're interested in that, it also handles about some weird burial sites. I mean, perfect concept for a haunting. And I believe this was based on true events. Definitely go check out The Poltergeist if you're into the whole concept of evil, vengeful spirits. 10th on the list, I'm actually gonna put two films here because they kind of coincide a little bit, and I'll explain why. So the first one is Wolves at the Door, and the second one is Last Shift. Now, if you're not really familiar with either of these films, Wolves at the Door is basically this group of friends that actually just goes to like a little getaway. They just want to mind their own business, and then the Manson family murders happened. Which, if you're not familiar with the Manson family murders, it was a really, really gruesome cult that basically just manipulated so many people. You can do some research on it. If you guys want, I can make an entire video on the Manson family murders. If you're interested, put that in the comments. Now, The Last Shift is basically a film about an abandoned or a closed down police department. So then there's this woman, she's supposed to like look after like the whole police station just for the night. I mean, it's the night shift. It's her last shift at that police station. But she's alone there, and it also develops into the Manson family. So that's why I needed to put both of these films together, because they both handle about the Manson family murders, and I just really thought that I just needed to put them together. Because the Manson family, that's a really, really gruesome case. And I'll make an entire video about the Manson family murders and cults and things, but those videos I'll probably do over on my other channel, Crystal Intuition, where it's generally where I post more of creepy, haunted type things over there. So if you're interested, put that in the comments and go check out that channel of mine so that we can get into some more creepy, haunted things and cults. 11th on the list, we have Pay the Ghost. Now, Nicolas Cage stars in this film, and it was really interesting. It basically reminds me a lot of that, like, Dias de Muertos thing, you know, like Day of the Dead, Halloween. It's really, really creepy. It's basically just, everyone knows, like, on Halloween, like, the veil between the living and the dead is thinning. It's the thinnest on the day of Halloween. And Pay the Ghost basically revolves around the veil being thin, and where spirits can cross over into our world and we can cross over into the spirit world. So if that sounds interesting to you, definitely go check out that film. It was really, really creepy, so definitely go check it out. 12th on the list, we have Cam. Now, again, this one is relatively new, but I do want to give a little bit of a warning here. There's a little bit of, like, more adult themes in this film, but it also revolves a lot around technology, online personas. It's the kind of vibe the film was like going for, I think. But you know, it's like another online account thing where people are just obsessed with their online personas, and the film basically just shows how far people are willing to go for their online persona. So definitely go check that out if that sounds interesting to you. 13th on the list, we have Truth or Dare. Now, this film creeped a lot of people out because of the creepy smiles in the movie. The CGI, and I must admit, it was quite good, all of the effects, but generally, we all know the game Truth or Dare. So if you enjoyed playing the game Truth or Dare, you might want to go check out this film, and you're probably gonna second guess playing that game again, because you're going to be so creeped out by this film. You're probably never going to play Truth or Dare again. 14th on the list, we have Bedeviled. This is about like a haunted app, which was really interesting, so I had to put this on here, where in the new day and age, everything revolves around technology. So I wanted to put a lot of films in here that has to do with technology, a little bit more new age type things. So definitely go watch this film if it interests you. Bedeviled really shows the dark side of apps and phones, and it also kind of reminds me a little bit about how you should be careful just not to get viruses and things also on your phone. I mean, generally it wasn't a virus, but I mean, people are just not careful always with what they download on their phones, and this film kind of just shows you the dark side of apps, so definitely go check that out. 15th on the list, we have The Final Wish. Basically, this whole film handles about a jinn or a genie, whatever you want to call it. People just call them different things. But it just basically handles about that. It's basically all I can tell you about this without giving away too much. Definitely go check it out if you're interested in genies and magic lamps and things of that nature. But again, it kind of twists into a little bit more of demonic, because a lot of people don't know this, but a genie is actually a type of demon. Okay, so 16th on the list, we have Unfriended. There was 2 films for this one as well. Now, Unfriended, if you haven't watched it, again, it revolves around technology. Basically, it's just like this app, like Skype, and these friends, like, connected on there, and basically, it just shows you that sometimes you need to be careful with what you do, because there's consequences for your actions. So that's all I'm kind of going to say about that. The second film dives a little bit deeper into like the dark web, so if that interests you at all, definitely go check that out. 17th on the list, we have The Skeleton Key. So this is a little bit of an older film. I actually watched this probably way too young. I remember this from like when I was like in school. I mean, I wasn't high school yet. I was like young, and like somehow my parents thought this horror wasn't too scary, so they allowed me to watch it. Basically, the whole film revolves around voodoo, hoodoo type things. So if you're interested in seeing that, you know, definitely go check it out. There's also a lot about how mirrors are portals, and sometimes you can see things in mirrors, which was also a really cool aspect. So if that interests you at all, definitely go check it out if you're interested in some voodoo or hoodoo type things. 18th on the list, we have Host. Again, something to do with technology. So this film is generally about like a Zoom call, like a Zoom meeting type thing. Basically, the people just decided that since there's lockdown, we're just gonna do a seance on Zoom. And things obviously went horribly wrong, otherwise this wouldn't be a horror movie. So if that interests you, definitely go check it out. It was quite creepy. 19th on the list, we have Ready or Not. I have to say this film was incredibly good. It was really well done. So basically the whole film revolves around like this really rich family, and the guy like marries the girl, and then they have to do like this weird tradition thing because the family basically made their money through games, like board games and such. And then every time someone gets married, they have to be like initiated into the family and do like something traditional. And things take a turn for the dark. Further, the film basically just goes around the game hide and seek. They basically play this game, things get really dark. So if this interests you, definitely go check it out. 20th on the list, we have The Strangers Pray at Night. Now this was kind of a really creepy film. This family just wanted to go like on vacation, and then a couple of killers in masks ruined the whole thing. So if you want to check that out, if you are into like killers and masks and things, this film was incredibly creepy. And saying with, yeah, I actually made that mask for a short film. You can go check it out, The Thing in the Closet, if you're interested. It's here on my channel, but I'm talking about creepy masks and I actually have a creepy mask. It's pretty ironic. Okay guys, so that's all for this video. If you like this video, please like, comment, and subscribe. And if you have any suggestions, please put them down in the comment section. Like I said, if you want to see more about the Manson things, put that in the comments and go over to my other channel because I'll probably put those videos up on there. And also if you're like into haunted, creepy things, you might like my other channel, so go check that out. I'll put all of the links down in the description, and also I'll put the playlist here so you can watch some more creepy horror movies for Halloween. Bye guys!